It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NFL.
You guys have a quarterback competition out here between Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. What have you seen from each of the men?
Well, they both come out here and had a good start to camp, and both guys are definitely putting their best foot forward, and it's a hell of a competition. I think they're more battling with one another or with themselves versus one another, and you can see them continue to get better and grow at all the things that they're struggling with, or continuing to improve on things that they've done well. So it's still kind of up for grabs right now as far as what I see. I don't know if anyone's completely run off with it, but they're both doing the best job they can to come out here and make plays and make this offense as efficient as possible.
A detailed answer from Devontae Adams on the quarterback battle between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. What do you think, Riley Jensen? You like Gardner Minshew over Aiden O'Donnell?
It's like Lavelle Edwards used to say, when there's a quarterback competition, it's usually because you don't have one.
Ooh, so right off the bat at 7:04, Riley Jensen saying the BYU Cougars do not have a quarterback.
No. It's not a real So he's talking about a real quarterback competition. Why
what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Raiders.
Right, but one quarterback competition.
That's a real one, though. That's a real one.
What is it in? So it's not even worth acknowledging in Provo because it's not real?
It's Retzlaff.
Oh, you think it's a bogus? You think Bohannon sucks? Okay,
No,
I got that.
I think he got too far behind in the spring, and I think he's going to be a very, very valuable backup to BYU. And I think he'll start a couple games. It's going to be Retzlaff. Why? See, this is... It's way too early to deal with you.
What do you mean?
Jake, how do you do this every morning?
I'm going to use a term the DJ uses all the time.
What?
Very carefully.
Come on, boys. Come on. You hear my voice?
Dude, you twisted my words.
I'm showing up today. I ain't hiding under the bed. That's all I'm saying.
You twisted my words at 7:04 a.m.
in the morning.
Yeah. It's early.
Okay. The Niners, man, is this ever going to end with Brandon Aiyuk giving him permission to negotiate a new contract with other teams? They're willing to listen to offers. I'm sick of this.
Why?
Either play or get off the pod.
Yeah. But isn't this the
going
season?
On all season. Get rid of it. I'm done with it.
Yeah, but this is when everybody puts the heat on management, is like just before the season. Isn't that a negotiating a negotiating
Seems like it's been lingering for months. Months, I say. Months. Meses. And I'm done with it.
Do you think Aiyuk is somebody that you just have to have with the 49ers? Or are they good?
There's like
him?
5 people on the planet you have to have. Okay. Brandon Aiyuk is not one of them.
Thank you. So I think that's why they're like, go ahead, negotiate with other teams.
But I'd like to have him.
Right. But not for the money that he's asking for.
Does the quarterback make the receiver or the receiver make the quarterback?
Ooh. You would think, coming from me, that I would say the quarterback makes the receiver. But I played with Kevin Curtis. That was the best year I ever had.
Kevin Curtis, long-time NFL player.
10-year NFL player. Can you believe that? He was so good.
Yeah, I covered him at Utah State in 2001.
Oh, what? Was that the year they played Oregon?
Played Oregon, played LSU.
They played Joey Harrington in Logan.
They did. I remember talking to him after the game. He said, I thought we were going to win.
I watched that game, and they were covering Kevin Curtis like it was punt cover with 2 guys on the goal line.
Jose Fuentes was the quarterback?
Yeah, Jose Fuentes. Good friend of mine.
Yeah, that's when I knew Kevin Curtis, it was going to be somebody, because it was 3 days before 9/11, and we're down in Baton Rouge, and he goes over 100 yards in receiving.
Yeah.
You're a player.
At LSU.
Yeah.
It was like 138 yards.
Mm-hmm. And I was there at that game.
I was coaching at NC State that year, and I just had a close eye on it, of course, because I played with Kevin at Snow College.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, he's doing to LSU what he did to all the schools that I played with.
But everything I heard about him was true. I needed no more evidence, no more proof.
Right.
That was it.
That was fun.
Death Valley.
He was a fun player.
Jordan Addison, formerly charged with DUI stemming from an incident in which a West LA police officer found Addison asleep at the wheel of a Rolls Royce blocking the lane of I-105 last month. He's talked about that, man, and he's not happy about that. Daniel Jones, Giants QB, sparked a brawl. Oh, Lord, Bryant Burns said. Daniel got jiggy with it. Oh, Daniel was out there with it? Yeah, I'm going to need to back him up. I'm going to need him to back up, I should say. Let the O-line handle that. He's a fighter, so I don't expect anything less from him, but I don't need him in that. I don't need him to get hit. Keep him healthy. That's finally a DJ that's got some stones, man.
The Detroit Lions and Giants, they've just been coming up in my Twitter feed like crazy. There's been all kinds of fighting going on there.
Well, that happens every year.
I know, but like it feels like a little bit more than normal. Like there's always like one little scrap. I feel like there's been like 10 fights between the Detroit Lions and the Giants. Well, and I'm like, Detroit, stop fighting with those guys. They're nobodies.
And that's the thing about this is that they said there were upwards of 8 skirmishes yesterday in that joint practice alone. Like, it's
like, come on, Detroit. Like,
and
just.
And then they're going to threaten not to have the scrimmages. Don't we go through this every year? I mean, I enjoy it. And the news of the day, the Chiefs. Harrison Butker, the kicker, richest deal for a kicker in NFL history, signing him to a 4-year, $25.6 million extension with $17.75 million guaranteed.
Woo. There's gonna be some political coverage of this.
Yeah. How about and then Trey Wingo? He's an ESPN guy, right?
Right.
Formerly of ESPN. Oh, now with Pro Football Network.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know these ESPN guys. The Harrison Butker extension, making him the highest paid kicker, underscores the inherent truth in the NFL. The better you are at the job, the more a team is willing to put up with. Pure and simple. What exactly are they putting up with there, Trey Wingo? I mean, did you say that? All the players who've been arrested for whatever? Did he say that then? He says it now. Wow. Yeah, I'm willing to broach the subject. Nobody's here to interrupt me.
I'm not going to interrupt you.
All right, let's go.
I ain't running from the truth. I'm embracing the truth. My goodness. As long as he said that, with all the arrests that happen every freaking year,
yeah,
I'm okay with it. But if you're singling out this, what this man said to the audience that came to listen to him, wow. Yeah, I'm willing to put it out there. And you don't like it? There's the dial. Come on. My goodness. Wow. Let's move on to college football.
God, I like it. We're starting with the NFL.
Hashtag college football.
Yeah, I do have a comment on that. Never lie, never cheat, never steal. I was raised with that lesson. I have raised my family on that lesson. I have preached that lesson to the teams that I've coached. No one's perfect. If you stumble, you apologize, and you make it right. Today, I do not apologize. I did not participate, was not aware, nor complicit in those said allegations. So for me, it's back to work and attacking with an enthusiasm.
Jim Harbaugh, never lie, never steal, never cheat.
And double down on that if you do.
Come on. Come on, Jim. Never lie. No, you got suspended for half the season last year. How do you rectify that, Riley Jensen? You're a mental health performance coach. How do you justify that?
He drinks his own Kool-Aid. Come on, you know the old saying, if you lie enough, you start to believe the lies.
I guess, man.
And that's the truth.
Today, I do not apologize. I did not participate, was not aware, nor complicit in those said allegations. So it's back to work and attacking with enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Why do I feel like he's sitting at a table before Congress and he's wagging a finger? Why do I feel like he's a former president telling me he didn't have relations with that intern?
Well, I mean, actions are speaking pretty loud, right? Like, he got suspended for how many games last year?
6. I just said it. Pay attention to what I say.
You said half the season. I thought they played 13 games.
It was like 3 in the beginning, 3 at the end.
Right. So then he bails and goes to San Diego Chargers because he knows this is all coming.
LA Chargers.
Sorry. You're right. That's hard for me. Why is that so hard for me to remember?
Because you're stuck in the past.
With DJ. I'm stuck with DJ.
I don't understand.
Still angry about it. But he knew this was coming. So that speech has been prepared for almost a year now. He's been ready for that one.
Yeah.
Because he knew exactly why he left.
Nutso. And then very sad news. Former Louisville and Tulsa coach Steve Kragthorpe. He got Parkinson's in 2011, and now he's deceased at 59. So that's what? 13 years ago? 12 years ago? 13 years ago?
47, he got Parkinson's.
Yeah, I thought, you don't think of that, do you?
He just recently been hired, remember, as LSU offensive coordinator at that time, and he ended up working in an off-field role for years.
Of course, he's the younger brother of the guy who brought me to Utah. Long-time Salt Lake Tribune writer, and he was sports editor. Kirk Kragthorpe came out to the airport in Salt Lake City and offered me the job before I left town when I came up from L.A. for the interview.
That's back when you could walk into the airport.
Yeah.
So he walked into the airport?
He walked to my gate.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I
miss those times.
Yeah.
I miss those times where you could walk to the gate.
And I had been out with a friend and had to be up early. And so it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was tired, and I'm like sleeping a little bit. And he nudges me to wake up, and I start babbling. Oh, wow, this is interesting to see you. What a coincidence. I mean, I made a fool of myself. They had my travel itinerary. They set it up. He knew exactly where I was. He went looking for me. I'm babbling. Shut up, dude.
He offered you the job, and Salt Lake City has never been the same since.
I don't know about that, but that's...
You've left an imprint.
Yeah, negatively, but that's...
It was a great move by Kirk Kragthorpe.
And I just feel bad. I feel really bad. At such a young age. My gosh, man. You never know.
It is young.
You just never know. 59. Yeah, that's my father-in-law. He died at 59 many years back. USA Today coaches poll. The Utes are 13th. We'll get to that coming up. Let's go to the NBA.
Hashtag NBA.
What's the minimum amount that Team USA should win each game by?
20. If you don't win by 20, I'm not impressed. Because just think about it. Bro, you got the best players in the world on one team.
Okay.
If they win, they're supposed to win. But if they don't win by 20, people are going to talk about them.
That's Shaq. You're going to win by 20. I don't buy it.
It's a little different than it used to be.
It's disrespect on the world, man. They've got the best players in the world, but the other team's got some really good players. That's what's cool about basketball. And you can argue basketball as a sport internationally on the world stage has come as far as any sport that we've had since the Dream Team, since '92. Couldn't you make that argument? I mean, I'm not up to date on synchronized swimming and some of these other things that they got going on, so I can't really speak to it. But obviously, we follow basketball through and through as much as we possibly can. I'll be watching the game today, 1:30 against Brazil in the quarters. But you look at these teams, you look at Australia with Joe Ingles. We followed Australia a lot closer since we've known Joe for a decade now. And just in that decade, their team is littered with NBA players. So I don't know about that, man. Win the ball game, win the gold medal. Does anybody really care? I just don't think that that's a big deal anymore. It's not, and maybe it's a little bit of a discredit to our guys, but it's more of a credit to the other guys. Chase Buttinger, man, former NBA player, U of A guy, and Miles Evans. So their run at the Paris Games coming in beach volleyball. Norway beat them in the knockout round. So Chase, still a lot of fun to be able to play NBA hoop and then go to the Olympics as a volleyball player. Beach volleyball, no less. Let's move on to the sport that matters the most, and that's baseball.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Senzel swings and misses. And the A's send the White Sox to their 21st consecutive loss that ties the AL mark set by the 88 Orioles. 5-1 Oakland the final.
Pitch. De La Cruz hits another one hard. High and very deep to right. And this ball's gone. 3 or 4 rows deep into the upper deck over the Reds bullpen. De La Cruz has his 4th extra base hit tonight and his 2nd home run.
Banks ready, first base side of the rubber. Ohtani, high fly ball, left center field, in the air, hit a ton. Marsh is at the wall, he leaps, it is gone!
Garcia at second, 3-2 Astros, bottom 10, the 3-1. Smith swings, hits a high drive to right! That ball's back! It is out of here! Good night! Josh Smith, a walk-off homer! And the Rangers beat the Astros 4-3!
Ah, yeah, the old walk-off in the bottom of the 10th. Josh Smith living the dream. White Sox living the nightmare, man. Wow. 21 consecutive.
When I got my degree in sports psychology, a buddy of mine named Brian Bork sent me. Do you remember in The Natural where they have the sports psychologist come in? He's like, losing is a disease. That's what that reminds me of. 21 games in a row?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how you do that. That's hard. That might be harder than winning 21 games in a row.
You can argue that, yeah. Now, they did have the trade deadline in there, and they gave away some talent. Gave away a local guy, Tanner Banks, over to Philadelphia Phillies. Pitcher, left-handed pitcher.
I think Tanner's probably pretty happy right now.
Yeah, going to the Phillies, man. Phillies were in L.A. last night. I was watching that game, and they lost to Shohei home run there, 5-3 for the Dodgers. And Freddie Freeman returned. Got a big-time ovation. His son was, they put him on a tube. Is that what he's saying?
He had, feeding tubes, all kinds of Guillain-Barré syndrome, which...
Yeah.
Pretty gnarly stuff.
Both sides, the fans gave him a standing O. Both sides, Philly, he got choked up in the at-bat there. You could see it. Tough situation, but he said Max, his 3-year-old boy, is doing better. So that's good. He talked about having to sprint out of the game and to get to the car and meet them in the emergency. I watched the thing that they put on. It was about 7-8 minutes. And, man, it was intense. And now he says he's on the road to recovery, so that's good news there. In case you're wondering, the AL mark for, they tied the AL mark. The NL mark is 23 straight losses by the Phillies in 1961. All-time MLB record is the 1889 Louisville Colonials, or Colonels, I guess. 26 straight losses. We'll see what happens there. A's reach a tentative agreement to sell their half of the Coliseum to a private black development group for $125 million, paving the way for the group to build a giant entertainment and sports complex in a long-neglected part of the Bay Area. That's obviously the East Bay. Development group struck a deal in May to purchase the other 50% ownership from the city of Oakland for $105 million. And the organizer of youth baseball in Wichita unveiled a new Jackie Robinson statue, replacing the original that was stolen from one of the city parks. Come on, guys. Come on. We don't want to be stealing statues of Jackie Robinson.
Well, that's bad. That's bad karma.
Stupid. Well, and that one was cut at the feet of the statue. You just kind of cut it down literally at its legs, and then it never reappeared at any point.
Come on, he's Jackie Robinson, man. And I don't care if he's Joe Blow. He shouldn't be doing that. All right, let's move on.
Hashtag RSL.
A real rough first half. And, I think, again, a lot of it for me in football, as it is in life, is psychological. I think we were poor with the ball. in the first half, a lot of loose passes that aren't consistent with the kind of team we are. That led to some poor defensive decisions. And typically, if you concede one goal, it's about mindset. It's about making sure you're present. It's about making sure the next play is done the right way. And again, you can make all kinds of excuses, the heat, whatever it may be, but it wasn't good enough tonight.
Pablo, my guy, telling it like it is. RSL loses 3-0 to Houston and is out of the League's Cup. And they went from first to third in the group. Now they're off until resuming MLS action on the 24th. Today's the 6th.
Yeah, this is a month-long tournament. When you crash out of the group like they've done this year and last year, you have almost 3 weeks off.
Is that a soccer term, crash out?
Crash out.
That's what I thought. We got to talk this stupid soccer lingo.
They beat Atlas the other night. We're in first place, and then when you lose by 3 goals in a group that's tied at the top, you end up in third.
We can't just talk regular English. You got to crash out.
We got to talk about the pitch and kits and boots.
It comes so naturally to you, Jake.
Years of practice.
He and Yak, they want to be all things to all people. Or he and DJ. Me. Let's talk a regular American sports vernacular. Yeah. You adapt to us. We don't adapt to you.
Your voice is just sultry this morning.
I know. How about that? But I'm here. I got to be here.
I know. I love it.
What is Trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Coming up, we've got Brian Getzeiler because we got the Jazz thing with Lauri Markkanen. Today's the big day. He can sign. If he doesn't sign, then signs tomorrow, then he can't be traded. That's all those rules, right? And we'll get to that with him. And then we've got a new guy we hired. We talked to Steve Bartle yesterday, who's a new Utah Utes insider. Cole Bagley, he's going to be our new Utah Hockey Club insider for KSL Sports. Getzeiler at 8:30, 9:05 for Cole Bagley. Riley Jensen, Utes 13th. What do you think? Stay with us. We'll get to that next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.